Hello, everyone. My name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of A Quiet Place Day 1. I loved the first Quiet Place movie. I really liked the second one. I didn't like it as much as the first one because I did love that first one. I don't remember a ton about the second one, but I do remember that I like it. A Quiet Place Day 1 came out earlier this year. I really wanted to see it in theaters. I couldn't get around to it, but it came out on streaming, so I finally got to watch it. I was pretty excited for Day 1. I'm not typically a big fan of prequels, but the cast in this was incredible. So whenever they announced the cast, I got incredibly excited for it. But before we go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. We are on the road to 300 subscribers, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything, and it'll absolutely make my day. So first, I want to say I'm kind of struggling a little bit with how much I like this movie. This is kind of a little bit more of a difficult review for me because I like the movie. I don't love it, but I don't think I can go out and recommend this movie to everybody. This is a movie where if you see it and you say, hey, I did not like this movie, I would say, you know what? 100% fair. I can understand where you're coming from. So to me, it's a little bit odd, but let's, I guess, start with the story. There's really not a ton of story here in this film. Like the title suggests, the film takes place on the first day of the alien invasion, and we follow a woman named Sam, and then a little bit later, a man named Eric, and the aliens come down. They find out they're attracted to sound, and these two are trapped in New York City, and that's basically the whole story. If you watch some of my other reviews, you know I've said it before, you can have a simple story and still make it work, still make it impactful. I don't necessarily think that they did that here. I don't think the overall story is really all that special, and there were some times where I just couldn't quite get locked into the story like I would have wanted to. We see the aliens come, people try to escape New York, they're trying to figure out what's going on. We see them encounter the aliens, trying to figure some things out, but there's really, from point A to point B, beginning to end, there's not a ton that goes on. And unfortunately, it kind of makes me feel like this is a story that didn't really need to be told. We don't get any more context as to why the aliens came or how they came. By the time this movie ends, we do not have any more information about the world than what we have already gotten from the other two films. So basically, it's kind of a similar film as we've seen before, just with different characters in a different location. And I don't really know how well that works. But that's not to say that there's not any good here involving the story, because I really like the characters. I think the characters and their performances do a really good job of kind of carrying this movie. And I'll get to the performances in a bit. I won't spoil anything, but our main character, Sam, we learn at the very beginning of the film that she has cancer. And I think especially with the aliens, that adds a very interesting dynamic, because you have somebody who knows that she's not going to make it anyway, and then aliens come and they're attacking anything that makes sound. It's a very interesting dynamic that she has kind of with the rest of the world and some of the other characters. And both of our main characters do change and adapt over the course of the film, and I definitely appreciate that. That's definitely much needed in this film. You do root for these characters, you want them to make it, but I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily attached to these characters like I was in the first Quiet Place. There are some emotional moments in this film that work really well when they slow down and have some of the just nice human moments amongst kind of all of the chaos. That's just really, really good. It's just kind of a beautiful few scenes here and there throughout the film, it works because of the characters, the situations they put the characters in, and the performances. But that's really the biggest part that I love about this film. The performances, the characters, and then just those small human moments. Like I said, it just reminds me of the first film. Those are like some of the shining star moments in this film. They do a good job of building tension throughout this film. I don't know if it's necessarily done as well as the first Quiet Place, but it's still done very well here. And also the sound design in this film is incredible, as it should be. There were times where I even felt like I heard something behind me, and I don't even have surround sound. So that tells you how good the sound design is. For the sound, it's the little details that really make a difference in a film like this. And they use the lack of sound and dialogue to great effect here. I really like the cinematography all throughout this film. There's some really beautiful shots, and I love when they give the camera some movement. Even with the destruction in this film, some of these shots are just so beautiful. I would definitely make them a phone or computer background. Because of how this movie is, it makes it kind of a necessity, but they do a great job of just visual storytelling. I think the performances in this film all around were absolutely fantastic. That was honestly the biggest highlight of this film for me. Like I mentioned earlier, when they announced the cast, I was so excited because they just gathered a bunch of really talented actors, and they didn't disappoint. For a film that has as little dialogue as these do, you need some really strong actors who can connect with the audience. And they have to be able to get emotion across on their face realistically and believably. Everybody in this film does a fantastic job with that. Lupita Nyong'o is so good in this. She's always so good. She's amazing in everything. She's honestly one of the best actors working today. She can just portray so many different emotions and feelings just on her face alone. She's just an incredibly talented actor. In this film, she's able to make such a strong connection with the audience, and she absolutely nails this role. Somehow, she can play the exhaustion of dealing with this sickness alongside of the panic because of everything that's going on, while still trying to be strong. Her character is very interesting to begin with, but her performance just takes it up to a whole nother level. Joseph Quinn does a really good job here. I know a lot of people just know him kind of as the Stranger Things guy, and it may be easy to overlook his performance just because of how good Lupita Nyong'o is, but he does a fantastic job in this as well. His performance is another one that really connects and resonates with the audience, and he goes through a wide range of emotions in this film, and he nails every single bit of it. I also love the way that he portrays like an anxiety attack. It just is very realistic, and it's just spot on. Their chemistry together is so good too. They're part of what makes this movie work as well as it does. They're very different characters at very different places in their lives, and having them together makes for some very interesting filmmaking. Even some of the other actors who we don't like focus on like we do Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn, they do a good job here as well. Djimon Hounsou is in this. He's great. Alex Wolff is in this. He's very, very good. It's kind of a different role for him, but I really enjoyed seeing him in this role. So the performances from top to bottom were all just really, really well done. I think the CGI for the most part is very good in this too. They do something very smart. They don't just show the monsters out in the open in bright light a ton. They do what they can to put them in situations where maybe they're kind of obstructed, moving quick. We don't really get a glimpse of them. Or if we do get more of a longer glimpse at them, they're in like a specific lighting and there's a lot of fog, something like that. All those are really good tricks to kind of hide any kind of mistakes you may or may not have in a CGI character. And it works really well all throughout this film. One thing I also wanted to mention in this is the score. The score in this movie is very good. With the lack of dialogue, the score really has to carry a little bit more, but it's very good. It's never distracting, and it just supplements what we're seeing on screen. Overall, I will say I do like this film, but can't recommend it to everybody. If you dislike it, I completely get it. I was really hoping to love this film, and I just don't. I just like it. I think it's pretty good. There isn't much to the story. At times, it can kind of be a little bland and drag a little bit, but the performances really do a lot here. They do very good job with the visual storytelling. Some of the shots are absolutely beautiful. And the slower, real human moments with Joseph Quinn and Lupita Nyong'o really shine. It just shows how incredible of performers both of them are. Sound design is great. The film looks really pretty, but I wish there was just a bit more here. I think I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, but it's like a good 3 out of 5. You know, there's not like a bad 3 out of 5. It's a 3 out of 5 leaning more toward like a 3.5 out of 5, if that makes sense. But that's it. That's my review of A Quiet Place Day 1. Have you seen this film? Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. You can follow me on social media pretty much anywhere at CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.